Hello, and thank you so much for dropping by this video. This is going to be part in a series looking at the current world health situation in light of the teachings of Christ as shared by Bruno Grüning. So this is at least right here, right now, this is the second video. And so, in the first video, we looked at the state of the world and how the current world health situation didn't come about for no reason, that it's really the result of human beings separating from God and separating from nature. And now, what is the solution? So we talked a lot about the problem. Okay, good. Problem identified, but what is the solution? Well, in the last video, I very simply said the solution is God and nature. But what does that mean? And how to bring that about? So, the nature part is easy. Living closer to nature, in harmony with nature, or it's easy to explain, not necessarily easy to do. Living in close proximity to nature and in connection to nature. And now, how to get there. And what do I mean by God is the answer? Well, very simply, this is all based on the teachings of Christ, as shared by Bruno Grüning. And for anyone who's new to this channel, Bruno Grüning was a very interesting and humble man around whom tens of thousands of miraculous healings occurred. Terminal cases of cancer would vanish. Blind people would regain their vision. And while he's no longer in his body on this planet that we know of, he left his body, as other people would say, died. I would say left his body. He didn't die. The body that he was making use of died in 1959. The healings are still happening. I myself have experienced many, many healings through putting into practice his teachings. So let's take a look at one of those healings, which I've talked about many times. It was a second-degree burn. In 2009, I touched something very hot, like red hot, and the top layer and I got a burn on my thumb. But a couple weeks later, what I noticed was that there was still this red spot on my thumb weeks after it happened. And when I showed it to the doctor, he said, "Oh, you have what is called a second-degree burn. The top layer of the skin has permanently been burnt off. The part of the skin that regenerates has actually been destroyed, and you'll just have it for the rest of your life." So that was in 2009. In 2012, while at a meeting that was connected to the teachings of Bruno, and while absorbing divine healing energy, it started to grow back. And I watched it grow back over about a week and a half period as I continued to take in this healing energy. So that's the very short version of what happened. So the thing is we human beings think that we understand the universe. It's like, oh, we've got science. But according to science, what occurred on my thumb was medically impossible. However, any spiritual or religious philosophy is based on the idea that underneath physics and chemistry and biology is a deeper law, that all of that rests on that there is a supreme power which literally is the source of chemistry, biology, and physics. But even more so, intervenes into the physical, chemical, biological universe and does things which seem impossible by our human standards. So around Bruno Grüning, tens of thousands, we don't know how many. I remember I read about one time when Bruno Grüning held a meeting and there were maybe 100 people there, and within 15 minutes, there had been 70 healings. And he was active for 10 years. So for 10 years, and all this happened in Germany post-World War II, for 10 years, the laws of chemistry, biology, physics were radically reversed over and over and over and over, violated, we could say. And those healings have continued. That little burn on my thumb and the thumbprint grew back. It was just one of many that I've experienced, and I've literally met 100 people who have experienced healing on this path. And then I've read medically documented reports of maybe 500, 600, 700 more. So the first idea to get in mind, to understand how God could be the solution to all problems, including the current world health situation, is to be open to the idea that there is a higher power. You don't have to call it God. Throughout history, there have been many, many different cultures and traditions that have different words and names for it. But that there is a higher power that supersedes all the human limitations that we think run the universe. Secondly, is to, Bruno Gröning provided a very simple model for how this happens. He says there is a divine energy that accomplishes these things. So, I was in the middle of a meeting doing the practice of absorbing this energy when that healing began, when the laws of biology were reversed. So that's the second principle, is taking in this energy, being open to it, so that it can solve our problems, so that it can undo illness and problems. And then this energy can also guide and lead us. I lost a necklace in a park, teeny tiny necklace. And it was very precious to me. I didn't know how I was going to find it. The grass was very tall. And so me and a friend, we tuned in beforehand to be guided, to experience help. And I didn't know where in the park. The park wasn't huge, but it was big. And we tuned in and we asked for help. And we asked Bruno Gröning for help, even though he's not in his body. Just because someone isn't in their body doesn't mean they aren't still available to help. But that's another topic. But we went over there and we came up with a plan. The park was primarily square shaped. So we're like, okay, well, we're going to start in this corner and we're just going to walk every inch. And after about the third lane, I suddenly felt this strong feeling, like I was literally possessed, and my body, something turned my body to the left. And I heard in my mind 1, and my right foot took a step. And I heard in my mind 2, and my left foot took a step. And I heard in my mind 3, and my right foot took another step. And then my body looked down. Now I'm using my language very precise. I didn't turn my body, something else did. I didn't think those numbers, something else did. And I didn't take those steps. It was like something was moving me. And I looked down and I'm looking right at the necklace. So I wasn't just guided to it. I was literally taken to it by the divine energy. So we can be guided. We can be guided as individuals, and then of course as a race, to solve every single problem. Some of the problems, through taking in this divine energy, will just be lifted. Some of the problems will just be healed. Some of the problems, we're going to be guided what to do. If we as individuals, and if we as a race, enough people, turn back to the divine. Whatever you call it, whether you call it God, Allah, Buddha mind, Brahman, Yehovah, Waheguru. Those are the names of God in the five largest religions in the world right now. But if you doesn't, whether you call it source or love or spirit, that which created all of this, that which in essence is our parent, gave us our life. If enough of us, then we can be guided as a species to turn around this disaster we've created. So thank you so much for joining in. And I'm going to continue in this series looking at the state of the world through the teachings of Christ as shared by Bruno Grinning. If you'd like more information, please, below this video is a website that I've made called The Healing Stream, which gives information about Bruno Grinning and his teachings and how you can tune into this energy. And actually, let's do that right now. Let's spend a little. So how to do that? I've talked about this energy. Now, how the heck to receive it? Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor. Hands on your legs, palms facing upwards. Back in a relaxed, upright position. If possible, not leaning against your chair, just a relaxed, upright position. Then close your eyes. Take a few breaths. Coming into the present moment and really separating yourself from all problems, all burdens, all worries, handing them over to your understanding of God or a higher power, or to a spiritual helper that you trust, such as Bruno Grinning. There's a little teeny tiny picture of him in the background. Or Christ, or whatever helper is connected with the tradition you believe in. But it has to be someone you trust completely. Giving away, separating yourself from all problems, all worries, all illness, and then asking to receive the divine energy and observing your body, noticing what you feel, having the will and the intention to take this energy in. Just keep coming back to observing your body, having the will, the intention to take this energy in. If your mind is wandering, you can observe your breath. You can repeat a short prayer or mantra. Having the intention to receive. noticing what you feel. The mind wanders off, just bring it back to this intention to receive. Being willing to let go of everything not good. So you're welcome to continue on your own. I'd like to thank everyone who dropped by this video. I really appreciate your time and attention. If you're open to the idea of healing and you open to the idea of a higher power, you can ask this higher power, ask Bruno Grüning, show me if this is true or not. Don't believe me. It's not about, I'm not looking for followers, the contrary. Really seek the truth until you know it in your direct experience, beyond the mind. Thank you so much. Take care.